Hello everybody, my name is Quick, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going back into Terraria, and it hasn't been like the other occasion that with Minecraft I had a series. I left for a while, and then when I came back everything was really advanced. This is just my most advanced character because I had this character for a very, very long time. I also plan on having a survival series, but that's not going to be with this thing. This is going to be more of a creative. I'm trying to, since I don't have like a toolbox for this or anything that I know can give me like creative qualities where I can just build whatever I feel. Um, generally have to do it in survival, and so I decided doing all the easy stuff first, like defeating all the bosses and the mobs and all that. So the reason why it makes it so easy in this advanced character is because he's got a bunch of tools and a bunch of weapons that help me. They all deal with damage, and the possessed hatchet, which I'll use on bigger mobs to quickly rush up the fight, is because it does 194 damage. Because everything that I have, it's enchanted with menacing, which does plus 4% damage, and the gauntlet also sets everything on fire. I just got a bunch of things, but well, I'll still mainly use the vampire knives unless it's a bigger boss, and that's because they have much longer reach. There's multiple of them. They produce light because of the gauntlet, and because there's multiple, they like spread out the light, and that allows me to see a lot better than if I was throwing one thing. I also have this key thing that I do. I go to the very bottom of the dungeon, and then I go straight down and try and find hell. And sometimes I still have to dig very deep until I get in there. But a very unfortunate moment happened when I finally got to the voodoo demon. I found him, and I was like all happy. It was like, yay, I got him. But what wasn't so happy was defeating the wall of flesh. I did succeed, and I did make it. However, he chucked me into this thing and I couldn't escape. And I ended up dying. I tried escaping and it was too hard. So I kind of had like a small moment of silence. There's my map a little bit. But on to the main basis. I beat the wall of flesh. Now all the mobs are going to be as hard as possible. But that's okay because this is the hardest character anyways. Oh, and there was a meteorite that landed from earlier. It was very easy because it landed in a very tight spot, so it's not like it struggled. Oh, notifications. They happen. I also decided to continue with this recording. So what I do is usually when I have a voiceover, I use the phone application, the Power Director, to do my voiceovers. But then I realized since once I heard the sound difference between recording with my mic here and when I'm recording with the Power Director, the mic that I have is much better. So now even in voiceovers, I'll still be using the mic here. Now, it's very good because it also keeps up on times. I can also watch my entire video in full screen. That way I can also keep up with what you guys are seeing and everything along those lines. It's timed. Everything's just going great for the video. Except for the part that I died that one time this entire video. So I kind of had that real moment of silence there because it's not the boss, it's where the boss put me. Ah, oh, it was so difficult. But every once in a while you'll see me taking something down, and that's what I'm doing here with this. And I wanted to figure out where should I make a first layer, like the main place. Like if let's say I wanted to make a castle, I need a flat ground. I need a house, something to live in. And I don't want it to just be spawn, and I actually like the dungeon. Um and because of that, I was thinking maybe I could use a little bit as like a starter. So I just kind of took down these walls, and I looked at the map and it was flat. And I also noticed it was one of the highest things on the map. So flattening the world from that point wasn't probably the greatest idea, so we decided to try it from the bottom edge angle. For some reason it like points out, so I guess it like arrowed out. And so I just kind of kept going. I also wanted to make them biome specific so that like if you see me using dirt or something, it's obviously with something with grass. If you see me using mud, it's in the jungle. The thing about water, I just saw some water go by. What's fascinating about water is if you have flat enough land, the water will try and spread out so thin it disintegrates itself. And because I'm in hard mode, this is where the hollow is. Now, I don't know if I should let it spread or if I should try and like look for making it better. Considering I'm going to be taking over the world anyways. I mean, I already have. It just the moment it was my world. But I don't know if I should further it. But I'll probably mine out absolutely everything because I have my pick saw and the axe here. So they really do everything quite efficiently, even without a mining potion. And even if I did have a mining potion, I could just keep running and mining. So I'll probably make those in the long run. But for now, I just keep doing these long runs until I hit the ocean, and then I say, I don't like it. And that actually happened. I got here to the ocean, and I came up with a brand new idea. That the angler actually ran from the ocean that when I revived him, and then this is when I came up with my idea. What if I made the oceans level with each other? Because to me that makes much more sense. Because I don't know if I've ever had a world where the oceans were actually level, but I was gonna level them. I was gonna put them on the same level. So I went to the lowest one, which happens to be the one that I mined at, and then I just started going back at it. So then there was a whole thing on top, so it's like I already have this layering on top. Now I'm just gonna pretend like I didn't make that, which is it's good and it's bad. It's like if I was just mining a few blocks lower, I could have already had this. And it was also like, well, since this is also new stuff, it'll expand the man's brightness because, like I said about the hatchet, it makes light. And even mining with a pick saw, it allows the map to light up for that moment that it'll always show up on the map. And the more land I saw, a goblin army. This happens every time I make a new world with this guy. And it's because he's got the 200 health, he's done everything. And then I forget about it. I go to spawn, and then the goblins start coming after me. But you'll see that later. For now, I'm still mining across, trying to get to this land. Remember how I said about that whole flattening with the ocean and stuff? Oh, this one was a little pain, but I got through it. So I wanted to find out where the edge it was, make sure everything was flattened out, and then I leaked it. And so then it starts slowly going through. And this is one of those things you have to be patient with. If I let all that ocean out at once, it is possible that it could reach the other ocean, and that's a lot of water that won't disintegrate due to the fact that it's too much. You have to let it thin out. And if you don't let it thin out, then you just got a huge body of water to deal with. And if you're ever mining, from one side of the other world to the other, that means I have to go through that ocean. And every time I have to go further down than that, I have to go in and just always mine with water. And that's why it's a problem. I don't want to dig down and always be mining in water because that'll drown me. And I don't want to make constant water breathing potions either. think at one point I almost made it too much, but then I was like, no, it's fine. Oh, here's the Goblin Army. This was really fun. I eventually had a hard time because the controls, flying down, getting up through the hole again, I ended up expanding the hole that I made by a lot, so I could be very sure that I could fly in and drop out if I wanted. And they're already dropping souls, so I know I have to get the mechanical bosses, the three of them, and one of them surprised me. They dropped a mechanical eye, so that's one of them. That's the twins, but I think I need to make I think I need two mechanical eyes for the skull, and so it's like, okay, so I think I should probably make the other boss, but then there's the mechanical worm, which I think it's weird because the Eater of Worlds, which is always in the corrupt world, and I'm in the crimson world, and I thought it would have probably been specially specific that if it's a corrupt world, you get the that whole thing where you get the destroyer, I think it's called. But if it was crimson like the one I have here, then maybe there'd be like another type of destroyer, like a brain figure destroyer. But no, it's always a worm. I never really dealt with the crimson, so if I actually had a survival and I started in the crimson, no idea where to go. I think there's probably a crimtane pickaxe, probably because there's the nightmare pickaxe, but I still don't know. I have no idea. My recordings are all still the same. They usually take 2 hours, and that's why I got the whole 2 hours here, what I was doing, completing my progress. And this is pretty much all I did from this point on, was just mine out, and then look at the map, and then say, hey, look, it's cleared. And eventually, as I go from one side of the map to the next, it'll be more clear, and then once it becomes all cleared out to a point where it's like, I have all these materials, I think I know what I want to do. And that's a great idea, knowing what you gotta want to do. But sometimes I don't know what I want to do. Oh yeah, there's these ice guardians. I never really looked up what a frost core is. I know it's a material, and I think one of them dropped. I'm gonna say it was him, an ice feather, which is also material. And I don't know what either of them do or what either of them make. I'm guessing because it says material, it means I craft it into something, but I have no idea. I'll probably have to look that up later, but I feel like if I'm going to be mining all this, I should be doing it in the day because you'll probably see the struggle I have at night trying to do some simple things. So, with that in mind, I think it's good for you guys to give me suggestions of what I could be doing at night in this world. And I'm also going to probably start a survival world, I don't know when. Maybe today, maybe later. I could also do the hero server. It's whatever, you know. The more ideas I give myself, the more things I can record, and that gives me much more opportunity to record stuff. But this is gonna be basically a creative series where I kind of gotta lay out and destroy the world a little bit first, and then make it something else. And because I have the axe, it's much easier to just run through and just destroy the wall one by one. And because that's what it is, it's pretty much what it is. But as you can see, here it is. It's nighttime, and everything is everywhere. I could barely get the job done because I'm always interrupted by these mobs as long as they're on my lair. And by the time I got to here, it's much easier because nothing was coming down to my lair to bother me. But even then, this has been the last part of that, which tells me this is the final parts of the video. And I recorded, and it was like 11, almost 12 at night. But anyways, this is all the time I got for now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and without further ado,